All right, Captain Gunn, thank you for joining us.
Okay, my pleasure, my pleasure.
I guess what you shared with me the other day about how you score points, right? What are the things you look out for? These will be the gems to help some of our nominees here to continue for next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So hope you don't mind. I would like to invite you to share with me your thoughts as a judge for this year.
First of all, yeah, I have to say this. I told many of them because I know some of them, and I also know some of you here. Okay, but what I'm trying to say, and always I told the participants is this: your success and your future are not decided by this award. Okay, first thing you must understand, it is a competition, and every competition has a rule. Okay, you win because the rules have something in your favor. If you lose, it just happened because you have something that not in favor because of someone who apply the rules. Now, out of all the 6 judges, we have 6 different patterns. You first of all, you enter a competition, it is already a tough decision. And out of the competition, there are rules which is not always in your favor. The second challenge. Third is you're going to deal with 6 guys who have different opinion, background, and also expectation. So it's not about winning, but it's more of finding the right fit. Okay, I have to explain this to you because I have seen many good one that is not in 30. I have some my personal favorite, which is here, but not in the 30. I was a little bit disappointed when I told Cynthia about it, but I have to respect the rules because me, a person, a judge cannot change the rule, the outcome of the rule. So again, you must understand this is a competition, and competition always have some rules that we cannot dictate and predict. I explained this to one of my students who happened to be in the top 30. I said, why Jackie Cheung don't want to go into reality show? Because his success is not defined by people who is outside his circle. So same thing, whether you got in or not, it is not a dictation of your future. You just join because you want to learn. I think that is the biggest take home when you come into this competition. Now, I know some of the judges, and I also talk to them. I'm not surprised that all of us has different preference when it comes to the way we pick so-called the high scorer. I don't use the word winner. It's not about winner. It's about the point system. Some you give a lot more points, some you give less. I can't answer for others, but I can share with you how do I apply my point system. Now, I'm a financial guy by profession, and for the last 20 odd years, I've been dealing with numbers. So obviously, number is something that I respect the most. So in a competition like this, you see the keyword is creative and entrepreneur. Of course, I don't have to explain youth because by your age qualification, you're already there. So the keyword is creativity and also entrepreneurship. Now, what do you mean by entrepreneurship? It is a business. Business is defined by the success of your outcome, meaning it's numbers. So to me, very simple. I will look at numbers. For those who did not submit numbers, in my score sheet, you are not in my favor. As simple as that. Because if I can't verify the numbers, it's very difficult for me to say you are good entrepreneurs. Okay, if you submit your audited account, even management account, or even a summary of your P&L expenses, it is okay because I need to visualize. Without the ability to visualize the numbers, I don't know how to tell myself that you are actually successful or not. Now, successful is not about profitability. It is about many things in the numbers. It can be sales, it can be asset, it can be P&L, it can be cash flow. There are many things. But to me, is I need to have a feel. So first thing first, I will look at the size of your business. For example, if you say you're very impactful, when you have been very creative, you create impact. I will look at your sales, for example. If whatever that you describe is very creative, but the impacts are very small, then I cannot gauge. To me, it's like, well, it looks like you are very creative, but the impact is very small, meaning your creativity doesn't translate into result. I verified that way. I'm not sure about other judges, but that's how I verified impact. Especially here, I think this year, a lot of key factors talks about social impact. Okay, that's the second part that I verified. When you talk about social impact, it has to be an impact that is by size. You cannot say I have helped many people. How many is many? Or I have created a substantial result. How substantial is substantial? I need a numbers so that I can compare you with another person who give me a number. So those who give number, at least I'm able to visualize I'm able to quantify the impact based on my kind of judgment. But for those who didn't, of course, I cannot say they are not, but obviously I will give more points to the one that able to prove something to me, which is by numbers. So my way of judging is I will look at number first, but I know there are many people who did not submit the numbers. Okay, so maybe for the next time, if you are to take part again next year, one of the things that you have to submit, don't care about good or bad numbers. At least let them know, especially this year, bad numbers are best to show this year because it's COVID. Not everybody have good numbers. So this is the best year to show the bad numbers. So I was kind of disappointed that a lot did not actually submitted their financial numbers. Of course, I understand some are very new. Maybe it's your first year or maybe it's even less than a year, but it's okay. You submit your 8 months number, 9 months number. It is still okay. Because that allows me to visualize the activity and also the level of impact that you are creating. That is what I hope to see, number one. Number two, like I said just now, the key component in this competition is talking about the social impact. Okay, I have seen a lot of you actually have submitted pictures, some videos talking about donation campaign, food distribution. Not bad. That is good. But when everybody does the same, I have a problem. Who are better than who? So out of 90, who's supposed to do better? So I have difficulties to give marks if everyone are the best, right? If I give 10 to everyone, everybody score 10. How am I going to differentiate who are better than the other group? So what I did was I look at sustainability. I actually don't quite like donation. When we create social impact, I give more scores to those who create sustainable social impact. Meaning it is not by way of donation, because when you donate, they got food. But if you stop donation, they die. That is not sustainable to me. In fact, I give more score to those who create employment, upskill, create job opportunity, because with that opportunity, they can continue without you involved later. A lot are giving donation, for example, give food, you give some sanitizers and masks, which is good. But when everybody does the same, there is no uniqueness already. So I choose those who create impact on something that is more sustainable. That is my those who score more. I give more points to those who do something more sustainable in that way. And I'm not a big fan of tech. I know there are some judges who are a big fan of tech. So to them, is creativity means something techy. But I'm unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not. To me, is I prefer traditional business, but with innovation. Innovation doesn't mean technology. Innovation is defined as the way you do differently. It can be technology and also not technology. Okay, but apply certain new thing in your business. For example, another industry has been doing that, but your industry is pretty new. If you want to do that, by crossover, it is also an innovation to me. Okay, I remember Jonah, I saw your profile. You apply the JCIM system into your new development. I was very impressed with that strategy. To me, that is innovation. Okay, of course, you say creativity, but innovation and creativity is two different things. Creativity is to create something out of zero, but innovation is to modify and make it useful and workable for you. For example, those days conveyor belt is used for logistic delivery system, but today it is on the food F&B. You are using it for sushi. So it is an application of something that is not common in your industry, but make it relevant. To me, that is already a good innovation. I am not so fancy to look for something really, really techy and completely new. So my preference are more on that, because at the end of the day, whatever creativity impact that you create and you explain, it has to translate into numbers to me. So to cater for judges like me, you have to show me numbers so that I can read. For example, before you take over the business, for example, some are second generation, before you take over the business, what were the size of the company? What was the impact that they have? After you innovate, okay, you put in certain thought and certain strategy, the difference between before you and after you, that is good measurement for me. Okay, of course, profit is a good measurement, sales is a good measurement. I am looking at something more than that, especially traditional business that has gone by a few generations. I actually very interested with businesses like that. Because to innovate and change a legacy is far more difficult than to start a new company. I'm looking at that energy of an entrepreneur rather than I like this business, I started this one, I apply technology and I just grow the business. To me, it's common because you like something, you start something. But to take over an existing one is very, very difficult. So I give more score to those who are in that category because of the effort and also commitment that they need as compared to someone who just starts something new. Yeah, in general, that was how I score the participants.
Wow, big points. Thank you very much, Captain Gan.
Yeah.
You have any question for our dear judge tonight? Golden opportunity to ask. Okay, if not, I will ask Captain. Yeah, Captain, all the entries are in the same format, right? Like, you know, they're presented to you in PDF, there's question and then they answer. Oh, do you even do you give more points for those entries that make it easier for you to read, give you references, you know, even tell you how many word count? I mean, word count, we did it for you lah. Yeah, that one the committee did it for all the nominees. Yeah, for the word count.
It does help. It does help. But for me, I probably work a little bit different. I spend I told Cynthia I spend about 30 to 45 minutes, some even to an hour per
entry.
Because I don't really trust everything submitted. That's my job. I financial guy, always very suspicious on everything I receive. So what I did, I actually verified by going to respective social media and also website to verify the legitimate of the information that is submitted. Very easy nowadays. You just you type in Google, you type in Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere you can find information about that company or that person. To me, because it's an award to an individual, so I first check the person before I check the company.
Take note.
Yeah, I verified, and it's important for me to know whether it's the fact match with whatever that they have submitted. That is very important to me. I'm not sure about other judges, but I spend time verify whatever that is outside the submission rather than just rely on all the pages that is given to me.
Yeah, good point. I think yes, but back to highlighting that we are awarding you as the entrepreneur. So your business is good, but we must be able to find you on the internet as well.
Yeah, and this is probably not at the submission level, but at the interview level, I noticed a lot of them has no clue about the numbers. Yeah, I've asked some question and they kalang kabut, whatever numbers they say doesn't tally. You see, an accountant, I'm not saying bad about accountants, but we suspect everything we suspected. So we used to ask questions to verify and to justify the point. So we always want to know questions like how do you ensure profitability? How do you scale the business? What do you see the business in 3 years, 5 years? Not just to understand how you did it in the past, but also to see how are you going to measure the next 3-5 years. Are you going to do existing strategy, continue, and hopefully the next 5 years the same? Or you actually have a plan that you're going to be innovative all this while competing with the competitors in your industry? So that is where we will try to see whether are you actually a numbers person. Why we need that? Because there are many participants who are actually one of the director of the company, which they have many other people. We need to know whether are you the key person. Because you may be in the company where there are like 3 partners and you're actually the smallest guy. You're not the influence person. The other 2, maybe they are more dominant. So you are part of an organization which is successful, but you are not the person that make it happen. That is how we test. So when you are not even aware of the number, you're not able to even explain, then we know you're basically only one of the key person, but you're not the dominator. To me, that point is very important because yes, it's easy to write on a successful organization, but at the same time, if you're not the key person, to me, that is not entrepreneurial yet. You just happen to be in a good team format, but you're not a leader yet. That's why we have the visionary, we have the learner, we have the ambassador, we have the leader. Yeah, to us, we will test that. Yeah. To be honest, I don't care about the English. I don't care about the vocabulary. So some are using like mix. It doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. It's just we basically when it comes to submission, Cynthia asked me, whatever they submit, is it going to be matter? I only matter when they don't write anything. There are some who actually don't even bother to explain. They give only one line. I mean, when you pay and submit to this competition, and you're given 500 words to write, but you give me like 50 words. I think I can't see your commitment. So if you say you spend like 350 or 400, okay lah, you can't put a lot of words into it. I can understand, but not to that extent of 50 words when I need 500. And those are, to me, you're not serious lah.
I think to the extent not even below 300, right? I
saw one I think I told you that one. I think less than 10%, which I was actually quite mad. I said this is wasting my time because he's wasting his time. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Any question from the floor? We are willing to take some questions from you guys. Just for tonight, not every night. Not every night.
Yeah.
Yes, Jonah.
Hey, thanks for actually organizing this. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Captain Gun, for actually coming on. Yeah, I do have a question. So my question goes like, it's how long do you take to judge? Like just now you mentioned you take at least half an hour to vet through, and you have around like 80-90 participants. So you'll be spending a lot of hours doing this. How do you judge the performance from one person to another, and whether what actually scores very high for yourself in terms of how mature or intellectually capable this person is just by reading through his submission? How do you actually suss out? Just now you mentioned some, but perhaps I might want to delve deeper. How you actually analyze the person
okay.
further.
Yeah, I think Cynthia asked this question because it's important to set a standard. Because first of all, we have 6 different standards. If one person, for example, me, out of all the participants, I have various standards, it's going to be unfair to those who happen to be at the right time when I judge. If today I'm happy, those whom I score will be in favor, but those who are at a bad mood, they were unlucky ones. So I understand that difficulty. So I told Cynthia, my way is very simple. I will spend 2 hours on the first person that I judge. I actually spent more than 2 hours for the first person. I still remember the guy. Okay, I'm not sure whether he's here or not. He's a Sarawakian.
He's not here.
He's not here.
He's here. Yeah.
He's here. I remember the 3-layer T.
3-layer T.
Yes. So I spent 2 hours to verify your data. Okay, I still remember 2 hours was tough hours, and I put you as a benchmark, and whoever come later will eventually be compared with this person. Okay, if I put this person at the score of 6 out of 11, I will basically ask myself the same question every time when I score. Is this person, when it comes to, let's say, innovation, better than this guy or not? If the answer is yes, it has to be 7, 8, 9. I never give full marks lah. Honestly, I never give full marks because I don't think it's fair to give a full marks. So, but I never give minimum like 1, 2 points. I will always at the average. So my score distribution is very easy. I focus on the key marks, those 11 points. 11 pointers are the big one, important one. So it means more when it comes to judging. Those four marker actually, to me, is like, it can't really make much of a difference. But I use that person as a benchmark, a yardstick. Whoever I compare later, I will go back to this person because I spent 2.5 hours. I know the the expectation that I've already set there. So every time when I see another person who is comparing to him, I will always look at it as whether this guy is like 1 point better or 1 point lesser. No, it's 2 point better or 3 point lesser. I use that as my yardstick. I'm not saying this is the best way, but this way works for me because I can always make sure I am a fair person by reference to the same standard. But if today I score based on whatever I prefer today, let's say I don't do every day, okay, sometimes I do maybe 3 days later. When I come back the third day, I cannot remember how I scored previously because everybody I score based on my feeling. But now I can always refer to the first person because that's the person that I spend most time with. And every time when I score again, I have no choice but to refer his point. Every person is to compare with that person. That is how I do my comparison. I can't say it's better, so why 7 or 8? That one I can't tell. To be honest, I can't really say it's 7 or 8 or better. But I have the second way I do is when I define him as the benchmark, the next person that comes in that take over his so-called the different yardstick or standard will be the person that I think he deserves to win. I still remember that guy scored 72 points, a very high score. And when that guy is already at that standard, I know the one that deserves a better score have to beat that guy. So that's how I set the what we call the mean and the max. I don't set minimum. Mean is average lah. I set the average and I set the maximum. So if this guy to me is the best person, so his score is always at the top. I cannot put anyone above him when I know this is the best candidates in my list. So that's how I do my comparison. Of course, we are still human. We cannot be like always using correct standard, but to us it's a standard that we can continue for the last 1.5 months. To be honest, 1.5 months to judge all of them is a very, very tough work. It's very, very tough. So I cannot, I think I have no one particular day that judge more than 5% because not enough time. Yeah.
Hence 45 days lah. I can see a hand being raised by Martin.
Yeah, so of course, my question to Captain Gan is, of course, different industry, they have different size in revenue.
Yeah.
Big companies, they have lots of money, and small company or new startup, they have little money. All right. So how do you actually judge? Is it the size of the resources that they impact the society or the complicated efforts that individual come up with?
Okay. If you remember, there's one particular question that I like the most in all the question is about your difficult moment, if you remember that. The toughest moment in your entrepreneurship journey. I actually like that question. Because if you say, oh, this while you are doing well and you never suffer, to me, probably that has to relate to luck. But to me, the best entrepreneur are the ones that have gone through the up and down. The more up and down that you've gone through, to me, that is that's the one that I like the most because the determination actually bring you back in action. So when I see 2 different companies, maybe one company that is like, I remember there's one lady that is like 50 over million, that kind of size. Okay, but the person that actually do better than her was actually I think it's 800,000 company revenue. Okay, I when I do comparison, I always do comparison. When I compare size smaller, profitability not as great as this person in terms of value. Percentage, yes, percentage is better, but at the same time, to me, that is only one measurement. But that numbers and size can never be the sole determinators of whether you deserve more scores or not. Now, come back to your question of resources. Maybe you feel that the bigger the company is, maybe they have resources, they have more people, definitely they can do better, but not always the case. To me, is I like a company that is small but mighty. To me, again, I go back to the question of impact. If you're very big, I expect you to deliver an impact. But if you say your impact is only at this level compared to another smaller guy, maybe the impact is smaller than you. But I will look at the size of the company. If the impact is great, I don't really bother about the resources lah. That's how I compare. So again, it doesn't matter whether you're 100,000 company or you're 100 million company. I think when we talk about entrepreneurship, it is about innovation in running your business. Of course, when both are more or less the same quality, the numbers play a role. I'm not saying that it's not important, but when both are quite similar in terms of the non-quantifiable parameter, then the numbers will be important to be the decision-making factors. At the end of the day, like I said just now, entrepreneurship is about impact. Size is also one of the reason, one of the area where it defines how big is the impact. But I don't want to jump in and say you are bigger, therefore you score more. No, in fact, it wasn't that way. Okay. Will I answer a question, Martin?
Yes, thank you very much. That makes me feel lots better because I believe a lot of us here, the size is rather small and we're competing with a shark.
Yes, I do mention to Cynthia, the size seems to be a bit non-comparable, but I did ask whether am I going to look at the size as one of the area, but I think we come to a point where size, yes, it is also one of the factor, but it's not the determining factor. It is one of the factors that we consider, but it's not definitely not the sole determining factor. To me, I have one more. That's me lah. I'm not talking about others. I'm not sure about others. If you are in an organization that is only you alone that is driving, actually give you more score compared to an organization that has like 4 or 5 partners. Because I look at the ability you as a decision maker to maneuver and also to manage the resources that you have compared to you have another company that have 4 or 5% that can split the responsibility. I look at you as a good leader because you are able to control everything with you alone. Whereas the other company, there are 4 or 5 of them, you are only one of them. So to me, you have, like you say, maybe helpers or resources in that case. To me, when it comes to these two situations, I actually give more score to the sole decision maker. Of course, some say that it's like small, but yeah, I agree with that. But to me, I like that kind of non-quantitative measurement. Sorry.
Any example in terms of what, Martin? Your question?
I'm saying that any example that like one size equals a small ikan bilis and a big shark, but a small ikan bilis make a bigger impact. A real case study. Thank you.
I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to say that or not. Okay, I just try to cover some of the actual situation. I think this guy is in top 30, if I'm not mistaken. I saw this guy was very small, and I think the revenue is not up to like hundreds of millions, not that big. But I like his innovation where he turned the social impact into marketing and eventually become his core value in selling. Okay, it's like instead of you sell and push hard sell to someone who cannot afford to buy, he find a way to get someone to buy for impact. To me, I like that kind of story because you turn the traditional way of selling. You know, we always say customer and end user might not be the same person. Customer are the one that buy, the buyer, but the one that use are the user. The one that use might not be the person that buy. He actually applied this in his business. Now, example is like when you sell something to kids, children, they are the end user, but the buyer is the parent. So you have to turn and find ways to sell to someone who have no say. That innovation actually, I was quite impressed. And although that was not new, but he basically turned that around in his industry, which I have not seen anyone done it before because it's an industry product. So if you say it's a consumer product, I can understand. He successfully sold it to school. I can just give you some tips. He sold it to school. Yeah, I think it's from Johor, if I'm not mistaken. I'm giving more and more clue already. So I look at that as something trigger my so-called it's a preference to me lah. I'm not sure about others. To me, I'm very excited when someone can do it so innovatively on a very traditional and old and maybe some say sunset industry. I will be more excited to this even the sales number are not really big or not really that big in scale. As opposed to, I think we have seen many property related industry that is in the top 30, or not top 30, in the submission, 90 plus submission. Actually, honestly, the numbers are big because you are agent, you are selling up to hundreds of thousands. Even the future is about listing the company. But to me, it doesn't entice me because the numbers are not really theirs. So I look at size that way. You can look at those property agent related business. They all up to hundreds of million. But the one I choose are usually the size of like maybe less than 10 million or average tens of million, that kind of size. Yeah. Hope that example
answers your question, Martin?
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else here has a question? No? Submission is one point lah. I think submission tonight you learn something, it's for you to score. Yeah. So maybe if you don't mind, I ask Captain Gan a little bit about interview so that next year, in case you termasuk top 30, you also need to know about interview, right? Would you all like to know? Captain Gan can a few more minutes just to share about what happened in the interview room and what they can learn from there.
Interview probably is easier because it's only 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes presentation and 5 minutes Q&A. The 5-minute presentation is actually very important. I think I saw many of them actually use video presentation. Video presentation is actually a smart strategy because you can explain many things in that 1 to 2 minute video. Please don't submit 5 minutes video because it's too long. I think most of them submit like in less than 2 minutes kind of video, which is good enough.
I limit them.
Yeah, less than 2 minutes. I think some of them even they have a long video like 7 minutes, but they play for 2 minutes, they stop it already. Because maybe at the back they are not so relevant and related. So if you attend an interview like this, I think a 2 minutes video or 1.5 minutes, I always say 90 minutes, 90 seconds is the best lah. 90 seconds so that we are not too boring. But the danger is because it's a virtual interview, you have to make sure your internet speed is okay. Because some actually stuck and jam halfway. So they were asking permission whether can they replay. Of course, we are nice people, right? So we allow that. But be careful because that can be something that you unplanned and suddenly you're nervous. And towards the presentation, suddenly you jam and you don't know how to continue. It will affect your emotion to some extent. So if you want to play video, make sure you stop everybody in the house from using the internet and make sure that 10 minutes is yours. That's something that you have to consider. Second is don't spend too much time explain what you liked. Some of them explain a lot about their passion, about their innovation, but remember that they are key points that is mentioned to the judges. We are supposed to measure your social innovation. We are supposed to measure your entrepreneurship, creativity, your leadership quality. Focus on that 4 areas. Make sure your presentation able to cover that 4 parts. So the best way to do this is to tell a story. Okay, I saw some of them actually present company profile, which is actually quite bad because when you go through company profile, you basically explain your company. I'm not interested in your company. I'm interested to know whether are you the person. Remember, it's an entrepreneur award. So it's a person that we score, not the company. So you should talk more about you as a person. How do you actually started it? How you overcome the challenges, the up and down. Since we talk about impact, you have to mention about the innovation in your social impact. All those areas are already given. So in your presentation, please find a story that can cover all the 4 components rather than do a corporate presentation. I've seen quite a few actually present the company, talking about the history, talking about the company's up and down. We are not really that interested with that anymore because that part is already done in phase 1. So in phase 2 is to talk about your social innovation, talk about your entrepreneur quality, leadership, experience. Focus on that. The best is to tell a story. Now, I tell you these tips. As a judge, we are very sad people because we sit there, we got to judge so many people from morning until late evening. If you're lucky, you're the first few because we are still good energy and we are still fresh. But if you are the last few, you probably have to be careful because we are very tired and we may not have that patience anymore. So you need to read the body language. You need to read the body language of the judges. So when you present, the good thing about virtual is you can actually see everything. You can see the judges, but when you see them showing the impatient expression, you need to speed up. Meaning they are not interested in that subject. You need to speed up and go to the next one. It's very easy to read one. Suddenly when you see me watching and suddenly I'm like scratching here or I'm drinking water, meaning, okay, I'm not paying full attention. You can read all these small little body language. It's quite easy to read. Just make sure you understand that they are not really paying attention 100%, then you probably have to find somewhere to just quickly skip and go to the next one. Most of the time, they are not interested when you have dragged one point for too long. Okay, that is what I always suggest lah. And because I do a lot of pitching, and I think probably the last one will be by using a slide is actually good. I saw some of them using PowerPoint, some of them using Canva. I love Canva. Personally, I love Canva. But in a presentation like this, I suggest don't use Canva because you're using internet again. There are chances where the internet will fail you and the Canva are not friendly to you in that particular moment and you are done. So use PowerPoint. The safest one is to use a PowerPoint. And maybe I would say it's a bad idea to use animation. Because animation again draw the internet speed, and at the same time, I think you experience Canva, sometimes the picture, it just disappeared. So all this can be avoided. So I would say maybe PowerPoint doesn't look sexy, but it's good enough. If you like the images of Canva, screenshot, cut it out, exactly put it into PowerPoint. Forget about animation. Okay, to make sure your presentation, the flow is fluent so that you're not stuck halfway. Or in general, I think 5 minutes, when you're running out of time, I think the organizer also told them to ask for extra time. Okay, I so predictable. Everybody asks that extra 1-2 minute, right? So I also know lah. So we set a standard. So I'm going to give you the 2 minute, but nothing more than the 2 minute. Because they ask for, can I have 1 more minute? We give. Before the end, can I have 1 more minute? I say we got to stop. So we have to set a standard. I think it's a good strategy because you ask for a permission rather than you continue without stopping. I think that part is okay. So long it's not like 5 minutes become 10 minutes. I think that one is a bit unfair lah.
Yep. That one we also brief them. Anything above 5, you pandai. If judge don't approve, that's all. So
far we approve lah. We know since we give the first one, we have to give to everyone. But we have to set a standard. If it's 7 minutes, it's maximum 7 minutes. But then if someone finished, we saw one lady who finished everything in that 5 minutes. We were very impressed. Of course, it will score a little bit more because of the quality of presentation, because presentation style is also one of the 5 points. Compared to you finish the 7 minutes, still unfinished. Of course, compared to someone who finished everything on the dot 5 minutes, obviously that person did well in planning, in the presentation, in the planning. So that person will deserve a better score.
By the way, Captain, what about in terms of how they answer your questions?
In terms of how they answer questions.
How are you going to score them? This one good, leadership. This one presentation, okay. Because will you give like tricky questions just to, trap them a little bit, see whether they can handle it?
Yes, we do. I think all judges do that. So you see, we sit there for like 6-7 hours. We need to find some fun time for ourselves, right?
Yes.
So it's not really trick, but since we know what is happening in the market, we always ask something that is relevant. For example, when you mention about your business, how creative, and we'll ask question like, for example, have you heard about this company? Of course, we know this company is somehow like maybe your competitors or somehow related to your industry. We kind of know that. But so we will try to ask questions which we hope you say you don't know. Because if you say you know and you simply give me a kalentong answer, obviously, I'll say, are you sure you actually know the fact? To us, we don't mind you tell us you don't know. It's actually okay because you cannot know everything under the sun. So it's okay if you say, sorry, I'm not very familiar with that site. It's perfectly okay. Compared to you simply give an answer, I think maybe they are doing about this. I say, are you sure or not? The moment when we ask the question, are you sure or not? It means we're not happy already. Because it sounds like you're trying to cheat me. I'm trying to verify. I give you one more chance to tell me, are you actually telling me the truth? So I think we always verify by asking questions outside their presentations. Because whatever presented to us is already polished. It's nothing much for us to see. And some even plant question. I say, I'm sure you're going to ask me about this later. I'll leave it to the Q&A. We don't ask. You know, you prepare for the answer. Why am I asking this question, right? So we are more interested to know what you don't show us rather than is in the slide. And it's so easy when you say something, we already start Googling. So we might not know, but we can ask Google. So in a way, we also able to ask questions which we hope you're able to give us something outside the presentation deck.
Okay, you got it. Take note, Yeah, sometimes it's just to verify whether you're blowing water or you're really genuine, you know your stuff.
I think putting whatever in your submission is very important. I remember there was one guy who submitted, I think one of the answer, he talked about his quality. It's something to do with food and ingredient. So he mentioned about happy customer, and he mentioned the brand name of that customer. And that customer was my student. So I actually called the student and say, are you using this guy in your ingredient? He said, yeah, we are. Are you actually happy with the ingredient? Because he says his ingredient is good. I said, but why he said that? I said, no, I just want to know. Just tell me whether it's good or bad. Because we are not supposed to review our so-called identity that we are judging. So he said, actually his ingredient is actually quite good. It just happened because it's far. Again, it's Johor guy. So logistic is an issue, but his quality is actually not bad. Okay, never mind. I'll tell you after November. Yeah, that's how we verify. Whenever you put something there, be careful, because either we know that person or we might find way to verify with that person. That's how I do.
Yep.
Again, it's my maybe it's because I'm an auditor background when I started my business. So we always don't trust whatever that is submitted to us. We do a lot of probing, we do a lot of verification and check. Yeah. I'm not sure about others. I'm not sure whether Dato do that or not.
Oh, she's also very strict.
I believe so.
Yeah. One day, if can, I will also get her on board and to share with you guys about how she judges and all that. She's even she looks at different things from Captain Gan. Our Dato. Okay, I'll review to you later on the 10th November. Our Dato is more on like gender equality, ESG, like environmental, society, I think, and governance. Is it social or society? Environmental, I think it's social.
Social,
and then governance. So Dato is very heavy on governance. So she's looking at the way you guys manage your company as well. So the few things lah. So I would say this year the judging team is quite balanced. So different judges, they look at different things. The whole idea is to look for the entrepreneur, the face, to represent JCI Malaysia. Yeah, that was the whole idea. But you see, I think some of you who are not familiar with what JCI, I think also because some of you who joined for the first time may not be so familiar with the values that JCI is promoting. JCI is partnering, we are very big on UN SDG goals. So if you notice in one of the question 5 points, right, they talk about United Nations 10 principles. So for those who are familiar, they actually know how to tie it back. Whatever points that they mention, they tie it back to the UN SDG goals or the 10 principles UN Global Compact. Because we're looking for that face, you guys have to be the representative of, who is JCI? What's JCI about? So I guess, when there's time allowed, I was telling Kimi, I would like to do a physical networking gathering with you guys, with the top 30, with the judges, and all of us finally get to meet. Then we can maybe share a little bit about what is JCI for 10, 15 minutes so that you know like the values we carry and why we are so big on certain things. Yeah. There's also a reason why they do CYEA award. Not for fun, all of us all volunteer one, okay? Yeah, so volunteer 1 year lah. So this year you see me, next year will be another committee. Yeah, so all good, guys.
Can I ask one question?
Sure, Eva. Last question.
Okay, Captain Gan. I just want to know, because my business is a franchise business, so a lot of restriction in terms of innovation or creativity, because a lot of things we need to ask permission from the master, or
Franchise.
So in this case, how we can compete with each other?
Compete with the rest of the participants, or?
Yeah, the rest who is not in the franchise business.
For franchise, actually, I saw quite not many. I saw a few. For franchise, I will look at them differently. Franchise is about the ability to smell the opportunity. Okay, you don't bring a franchise, for example, if you say today you bring in a bubble tea business, when the market is already very matured, it's called a red ocean, and you bring in another brand, unless this brand has a very unique selling proposition that you think that you're going to make a change in the way people consume bubble tea, for example, then I will see that as a good innovation. If you are doing a normal one, just bring in and just go join the bandwagon and compete, then very unlikely that you can stand out. So my suggestion is, even you are coming into a boring competition like this, but the innovation is not about the business. The innovation is about the way you engage with market, your customers. So the way you handle your social innovation, the way you do your marketing. For example, everybody do promotion, do buy one free one, but you're doing very different way. For example, you customize the bubble tea mug, okay, with the name, and you're selling like 110 ringgit compared to others who is selling at 10 ringgit. And you still have a lot of customers that come to your store. To me, that innovation and in marketing is what create a uniqueness in your business. And as an entrepreneur, I would like that, because even a red ocean like this, you are still able to stand out. It is okay to be in a business that is very competitive. It doesn't define your success by looking into the type of business that you're in, but it does matter the way you run your business by putting in all this innovation, whether it's social innovation, whether it's your marketing innovation, or you as a person, how do you build your team and how do they run the business together with you? That matter. So it is not about franchise or a business that you build from scratch, or tech business, or even a simple agency. It's not about what type of business. It's about the way you innovate in your business that matter. I remember, I think there are not many that come from F&B. I was quite surprised. Yeah, but I saw some actually quite innovative. But unfortunately, I think they are the one that suffer the most because of the MCO. Yeah, so of course, that actually does put some impact to the score because if it's too borderline, obviously you can't say they are better than others who are doing well, isn't it? Yeah, that actually have some deficit in the scoring.
Can I add something also? This is for Eva. I'm also looking at the CSR file, CSR media file you submitted. Yeah, not descriptive enough. A lot of photos, but it's just putting there, but did not describe the impact you create from the activities you have initiated.
Oh, okay. So that means I have, because I thought it's a reference. So yeah, I will improve in this way. Okay, in future.
Yeah. If you are doing it as a reference, even in your submission, you didn't say refer to which page. You didn't say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe one this one actually I have to say, I think I remember there were two person, which make my life very easy because the way he submit the PowerPoint presentation, the slide, actually PDF file Pages by pages is exactly how I read the submission form. You know, they have the form format, the question 1, question 2, question 3, and they have all the questions in it, and you have to explain. For example, one question, there are 5 components talking about, are you a visionary guy? Are you a leader? You're entrepreneur? You are ambassador? You're a learner? He actually put it item by item, explained there with images. Of course, he still explained in the form, but the form are actually a summary. But he made my life very easy, and I'm able to visualize what he means. He said I'm a learner, but he put in the pictures of him attending classes. So it's very, very informative, and I don't even have to read the details of the text. So I can actually understand, okay, you're a learner, you attend a lot of virtual classes. I can see that, I can relate. So it makes my life very easy.
Yeah, Captain Gan, you don't have to guess. What are they trying to tell me?
Yeah, sometimes English, we don't know whether are they actually meaning this or that. And especially when you come to, I find that question, maybe JCI want to modify, that one is a very tricky question. I think it's a good question, but it's very tricky. Okay, how to tell you're visionary, a leader? Some people, hey, leader, visionary lah, leader, you know, how do I split this two? Or I'm a learner and an ambassador. Sometimes the borderline, you know, how do I separate that? And I think most of you, I'm not sure. If I'm to answer, I think that question is the toughest one. I will leave it at the last, because it's not easy to answer that question. And to answer and score, and that I think easily you have, they don't have
15 points.
Yeah, that one has one of the largest. Yeah, so it's not easy to score.
250 that. Words, very limited.
Yeah.
And then 5 components.
Yeah,
we all know it's very tricky. All of us, when I brief the judges, you know, at first the briefing was like, okay lah, shouldn't be problem. When the real submission comes in, we start seeing already how to give score.
Yeah.
So yes, that in that sense, the visual representation will help, but it will only help when you describe. You don't just put your picture there and then expect the judge to know what that picture is for or which question is it for. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We take one more question. This is from Jacqueline from Kids CEO Indoor Playground. I think this was to you, Captain.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay, sorry. You remember this Kids CEO Indoor Playground? Do you have any impression?
From Penang, is it?
From Penang.
Yeah, I
right,
remember.
Jacqueline? Penang?
I remember you started in MCO and you cannot start, and you start and you cannot start. Quite challenging. I know that.
Yes.
It's mainland. Is it mainland or in Penang Island?
Mainland, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you. So your questions is, let me see, it's a bit far.
Your question is which one? Any comment? You only want comment, is it, Jacqueline?
Oh, okay.
Can you see?
So you want comment on the business?
Comment on this indoor playground industry, and also about my my file that I submit.
I think I can still remember you, meaning your submission is not bad. Okay, so obviously it's not bad. But I know you are in a very tough business, especially during MCOs, and but that is not how we judge our business. I remember. But one thing I will say that try not to mention sensitive words, like, for example, Malay market. I remember you used quite some words like Malay market. So if you are targeting certain races, because you do, for me it's okay because I understand Malay market is important, but you may have judges that do not like it. For example, if they are Malay. That can be quite sensitive. Your market is perfectly okay, but it's just happened to be on the wrong timing during the MCOs. But to me, is I will compare your innovation with the market leaders. For example, Kidzania. That's how I will look at you come into this space. Of course, location is different because you're at the north, not at the Klang Valley. But I will try to imagine that kind of business model if you are to be able to replicate to other part of the country. Okay? Yeah. Sorry, did I lost?
Nope.
Okay.
Jacqueline,
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a very heavy capex business. So my suggestion to you is explore more capex related subsidy. There are quite many. There are quite many in government. So in order to get that support, because too heavy capex can be quite challenging to a business like this.
Okay.
How are you doing in your business so far? I mean, since the market is open, are you allowed to open?
We started to open on this October. That means almost 1 week plus lah. I'm
But
also
I remember you did something well where you start selling something like a voucher.
Yes.
Yeah, that is quite smart. That's quite smart. Yeah, but you my thing but I think you need to think of something more long term, because the COVID probably is just an MCO now, but in long run it is going to be there for quite some time. How are you going to make sure it is a more sustainable one? I think you have to think of how to collaborate, because if by doing so you're going to spend a lot of money in marketing, and maybe you got the top line but the bottom line is not sexy enough. So you have to explore a lot of collaboration. And the next thing is Northern is still a smaller market. The bigger cake is still down south. You have no choice but to come down to Klang Valley and also to Johor. But then again, the budget is different. Yeah. And I would suggest you consider something to do with how do you call that word? AR, VR. That is how you can innovate and bring kids business outside that location by getting AR and VR into your business model.
AR, VR.
Yeah, something Taiwan already started. You can explore and see how they do it. Yeah. So when you're heavy capex, make sure it is not restricted and limit your revenue capacity. Because if you have a space where you can only allow 100 people in one time, there is a capacity. Since you build such a gigantic building, make it a place where you broadcast, for example. Why AR, VR? Because you can use that space to do visual, to do augmented reality. I think that part will be quite new. Then you're competing with different. You're not competing with Kidzania anymore. You're competing with Universal Studio, with Disneyland. Think far a bit. That technology is not too expensive compared to the building of another replica in KL and in Johor. I rather you spend more money in the technology, and you can actually do business with the rest of the country rather than just focus in Malaysia, try to build more and more so-called fun part in where you need to spend a lot of money in capex and also rental.
Okay.
I think Taiwan is a good country to follow because
Yes.
Yeah, they have something that we can easily copy lah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think more and more questions related to your business, but we keep this for another day, can guys, because there's only one Captain Gan versus so many of you. We give you
we have two more, is it? We just finished
two more.
Yeah.
Two more,
Sorry.
okay, guys.
Thank you, Captain Gan.
No worry.
This is from Martin from Alpha Grino. Alpha Grino education industry, I think kids CEO, something like that. CEC. CEC.
Alpha Grino. I don't remember Alpha Grino. Is it in my group?
Yeah, your group.
Wait, can't see. Sorry, the screen is a bit far. Education industry. I remember we have quite many education industry. Are you in? Wait, let me recall. Are you from Johor?
No, that's okay. Skip my question then.
This is CEO Cambridge English classes, linguistic, soft skill, in-house training.
Wait, I can't remember this one.
Oh, then it's okay. Skip me then. Go to Aaron.
All right.
Then I need to work harder next year.
Sorry.
Okay, Aaron is a top scholar. Aaron T. Hold on, let me check. Han Chun Wei, right?
BM teacher.
BM teacher. I think it is not in your.
It's not in my group, is it?
BM teacher is not in your group. Yeah. Tan Chun Wei also not, is in another judge group. TOO1. Yeah, Tan Chun Wei in another judge group. That one we will get another, like I mentioned, Datuk to come on board. Yeah. Mega Chess.
Mega Chess, I think, is in my group, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I remember Mega Chess.
Lim Yet Fong.
Yeah, I remember Mega Chess.
Yes.
Mega Chess is Kenny, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Mega Chess. Yeah, because I saw a lot of collaboration with all the school.
Yes.
I think at first I was kind of confused whether it's Chinese chess or international chess, because I saw both.
It's both actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember you. Yes, I remember you. Yeah. So it's an academy. So what was your question?
Just want to know how to improve for the coming years, next year. I mean, how many score? I mean, how many points for my first round?
Oh, I cannot remember the point.
Is it did I miss some point or didn't write it, or what? I don't know. Just want to know how to improve for the coming years.
I remember you talked a few things. If I remember correctly, you also train up people to teach.
Yes.
But you are more like academy that also organize a lot of competition and
yes.
Yeah. But I think your business is just like Jacqueline. You can actually scale the business fast by going virtual.
Yes.
But your current one are very focused still virtual but locally.
Yes, locally.
Yeah. I suggest your virtual should go all out and at least start with Southeast Asia. Because initially I thought it's Chinese chess. Maybe it's a bit limited because maybe it's difficult to go to like Indonesia, for example, or even Thailand. But international chess is not. You have more opportunity. You should explore. Maybe you can have 2 teams of people. One focus in international, one focus in Chinese Chinese chess. Because the strategy, the language, the social media engagement are very different. For those who, because you are in education business, you're not organizer for competition. Of course, organizing competition is the end, so-called like a finale, where you can get more people, you can get the pictures, you can get the coverage from media. But you are still in education. So education, for example, do you teach people why Jiang is a Jiang, why Shuai is a Shuai?
Yes, we did.
So I think that part is not obvious. I actually hope to see more of that because not many people know. They just play because they were taught to play, but they didn't understand the meaning behind why 不能飞向过河. You know, all these are actually quite unique. In fact, you should also use animation, create cartoon. Yeah, I think maybe you should create cartoon to engage. Yeah, I think cartoon is good. These are the technology that you should use. Not always technology about social media, but it's about how do you create engagement easier for you to engage and in touch with your customer.
True.
I would say since you focus a lot on the school kids, I think animation will work better.
Yeah, true. Wow.
Yeah,
Good
that's
that.
all
I think your approach towards that is not, didn't write it so clearly, right?
Yeah, I didn't write it.
We saw a lot of activity. Yes, full of activities. I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I think it's again it's impact. I think it's again it's impact. What Captain Gan was saying about. Yeah, a lot of activities, but where are you driving the impact? That one, I think you didn't touch a lot. I think you didn't touch a lot because you run out of words.
Yeah.
You hit all the word count for all your activities punya nama.
Yeah. True.
Something to take note lah, Kenny?
Yeah, take note. Yes. Thanks a lot.
It's not that you are no good. It's just the writing only lah, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another one.
Thank
Kun
you.
Kwan.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you. Kun Kwan is a Malay. They teach Mandarin as a second
Kwan.
language.
Yeah, I remember Kun Kwan. Because the word is actually a translation from Cantonese, right? To me, it's a Guan Jun or Kun Kwan. That's why I can remember that.
Hello, Sokwa. Sokwa, you're a representative of Kun Kwan, right?
Yes.
Okay, and your
Because,
question is?
I want to know that which part that we can improve for this CYEA.
Which part can improve?
Yes.
Teaching Mandarin, there are actually two markets. If you notice, one are for academic, meaning for exam, for academic achievement. One is actually for day-to-day and also business. Okay. Which market are your focus?
Actually, we are focused both market as well.
Yeah, that's always the thing. When you focus in both, that's where you lost focus.
So-called our main customer is like working adult, which they want to use this Mandarin as their communication purpose or working purpose, something like this.
Yeah. So you are targeting the B2C, right? We call that B2C, the individual who sign up because they want to learn and so that they can use it in their day-to-day working. Are you working with B2B? Are you working with corporate?
Yes, but not so many. Something like CSR project.
No, you should be. I will recommend you to consider this as your primary focus for two reasons. First thing is the numbers are big. B2C, in this case, the numbers are big. Second is because they always have a more long-term requirement as compared to an individual. I may attend after a few months, maybe I feel boring because my classmates are not, they are boring, or maybe the teacher are boring. So there are many reasons why that person will stop after 1 or 2 months. But if you work with B2B, it's different because they send their staff over for a reason. Because they need their staff to know this because they're communicating with customers from China, for example. So the objectives are very clear, and the business owner or the company has an objective when they send someone over. Are you currently a HRDF certified trainer?
Yes.
Okay, you are TTT also, right? You are TP and TTP, right? TTT is what we call train the trainer. TP is a training provider. Are you a training provider?
Yes.
Yeah, since you have that, working with corporate is even better because they can claim. I would say that is easier for you to penetrate because it's from the corporate HRDF fund. Rather than individual, I take out from my salary and I sign up. I will have certain restriction. For example, I just want to learn a few months. After I learn the basic, I maybe want to stop already. Because enough for me to cari makan. So human nature, we just go and learn something. Hopefully after a few sessions, we can gao team, then we'll just stop there. So you will have to spend a lot of money to find the second customer to come in. So the effort to acquire customer and also the costs are always very high. If you compare your social media reach, the cost of acquire one customer is already high, but the cost to retain a customer is even higher. Usually, how long do they stay? Is it like few years, or is like after 1 year, then they stop?
Mostly it's few months.
Yeah, that explains because adult actually very stingy when it comes to education. I deal with adult education. I can understand. When they learn something, they think they are smart already, then okay, thank you very much, thank you, and no thank you. So dealing with adult, it's better to get, it's just like the one I mentioned just now, the one that need it but cannot afford. So the idea is to find someone to pay for them. In this case, is the company. And the company have a better reason to pay because they need them to perform. Second is they have HRDF fund. So for you to go after corporate, you are very structured and focused. You just ask yourself which type of company need their staff to master Mandarin. Then it's very easy for you to create a funnel. Okay, those companies who have export to China, for example, those companies who always deal with authority in China, Taiwan, or even Singapore, you can narrow down and easier for you to do even your social media marketing. Or I think maybe that is a better strategy to me. I like B2C, but B2C is very tiring and it's very costly in terms of your marketing and your cost of acquisition. Oh,
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion.
no problem.
Good. Thanks. Okay, last one. Your A001, Alan Chai from Kuching. Alan, we were talking about you earlier. You didn't hear me?
What was the question?
The question is, I wonder what else can improve besides the financial report and the description for the reference. What else he can improve? Because he's your benchmark. What else can he improve?
Actually, your submission quite okay already to me. It is considered quite well prepared lah. Quite well prepared. But the only thing I shouldn't use the word don't like lah. The only thing that I got a bit like maybe I read yours too many times. 2.5 hours reading yours. I keep seeing the same point. You keep mentioning about the same point about when they started, when your parent, when they started, compared to how you insist to bring in the ready to drink. That thing has been mentioned many times in your submission. I hope to see more than that one. I actually hope to see more than that one, because it's like, yeah, it's a good innovation, but it's like you keep emphasizing on it, and a bit jelak to me. To me, I find it like a bit overemphasized on one. Actually, strategy is, you see, when you have strategy, is one thing, but in your strategy you have many tactics. Okay, you cannot have one strategy and one tactic and that's it. It become not creative anymore. Okay, strategy is a direction, but tactic is how you act on it. So I will expect more than that, but you keep going back to the same thing again and again. So that's where I think, that's where I put the innovation slightly at that level as a benchmark. Actually, you have a lot of opportunity because you are in the business, in the beverage, and the only thing is, if I can suggest, pushing something that you like to the market is very dangerous, because you expect everybody to have the same taste bud like you. And we have seen many East Malaysia's product that come to West that doesn't succeed because of what we call the adaptation failure. If you like sweet, maybe here they don't like sweet, or you like a certain rose fragrance, here they may not like it. So you got to do a lot of market research. You need to know your customer, and you need to know, most importantly, your competitor. I remember you mentioned about going to like convenience store and all this hypermart, and that is the toughest one when you come to West Malaysia, because they are monopolized. I got to warn you, if you really come to West Malaysia, beverage market are monopolized. So you have to find a different strategy to go into West Malaysia. The best way is to work with a partner. That's what I saw. Hopefully, I'm not sure how to work, but I roughly know. If I can remember correctly, now my memory is failing me.
Almost there. Yeah, what you say, correct. It's almost there. Yeah, there's potential, but really have to expand a little bit on the strategy.
Yeah, you got to sharpen your strategy, and I can see you go all out type lah. You can go all out type, but it's dangerous when you come to a foreign land. West Malaysia is a different market altogether. So you have to really read your competitors before you come in.
By the way, Captain, since you have this SIL, is it appropriate? Do you think is the best time to share with our nominees?
I'm
about
okay.
Your SIL?
I'm okay.
Yeah. So there's this very special, exclusive event that Captain Gan is doing, and he's heading it, and we would like to share with you, because I'm thinking maybe this can help some of you who is looking to explore, want to think differently, get out of the box a little bit, see your business in a different way. I get Captain Gan to share with you this Solar Vest Innovation Lab.
Thank you. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you heard of this company called Solar West Holdings Berhad. It's a listed company that focused in solar business, we are green energy business. So we listed in 2019, and and we are going to main board tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we are going to main board. So yes, I'm the non-executive director and independent director. I'm their audit committee chairman. So what I do is they have this initiative. It's a CSR initiative. Of course, they are rich, right? So they have the fund to actually give away. So what they do is they created this program called Innovation Lab. It's actually a startup program to basically give away grant to startup. There are actually two stages. One is ideation stage and one is the scaling stage. Ideation stage meaning you come up with a great idea and you submit a paper to us. If we find this idea great, of course, we have 3 industries that we are focusing in, whether you're in green energy, financial technology, or renewable energy. So if you like that idea, we give you 10,000 cash. In 6 months' time, you prove the concept to me. Okay, whether you do prototype, you do survey, you come back with a plan, I will give you another 100,000 to execute the project. Okay, and we will invest into your company if we are happy with the outcome. So we are doing the job of SME Corp, for example. Okay, so we give grant and also we give investment. Now, how different are we compared to other incubators or startup program? The difference is, besides giving you funding, besides giving you the coaching, mentorship, and also workshops, we will also bring you along to the network that you need to go, because we are very experienced in green energy, financial technology, and also renewable energy. So the supply, the ecosystem, we are very familiar. So we can bring you the right supplier, we can bring you the right customer. The fact that we are in Philippines, Vietnam, and also Taiwan, we can bring you along if your target is to go to these countries. So we are not aiming just to be a grant giver. We also want to be part of the entrepreneur's journey. That is why we are a little bit different compared to other incubation program. So we just launched yesterday. If you are keen to find out more, you can actually check out Solar West Innovation Lab. Yeah, we have a landing page that you can see all the information of the program. We launched yesterday. The submission deadline is 30th November. So it's about 1.5 month time from now. Okay, in the mid of December, we have a list of panel judges that basically will go through. It's like pitching session. We're going to pitch to the judges and they're going to decide yes or no on that day. Okay, of course, we have a lot of good supporters coming from the government and also the private, for example, like MTDC, Magic, SME Corp coming back to me today. Yeah, and MDEC is coming back to me today. Also like JCI, CYEA, OCBC. Yeah, these are all the strategic partners that's in this program. Yeah, so check it out if you are keen. Yeah, just drop your submission. Yeah, the registration is free.
iCase, which industry, Frankie? You ask about iCase, got chance or not? Is it considered security?
Yeah,
IoT?
the smart community and smart home.
Smart home can, Captain Gan?
Smart home.
Actually, our idea is like that. For this business strategy is, we are looking for some solar energy company to incorporate, cooperate so that we can help the community, because we are what we call smart community apps company that provide automation to the security and management system to the company. I'm not sure I'm in your group or not for smart technology, smart leaf technology.
I think we are not very strict about you have to be like green tech, fintech, and also renewable energy. We are not very strict about that, but we have to give some classification. We chose these 3 because we know these 3 the best. Okay, so actually this morning we have someone who submitted and he asked a question about whether food waste, is it considered green technology? To me, is solving an environmental problem. Whether it turn into energy or not, it doesn't matter. It's a technology, environmental related, because that's our SGD that we are focusing on. Yet I will consider that as a good submission. So just submit is okay. You just have to submit. We will have to go through this internally. We are not saying it must be in certain category, but we try to cover these 3 areas. Otherwise, if we say, oh, we will welcome all industry, some will say, all industry, are you familiar? Are you able to bring them to the next level? What if I bring in something in the kids industry, for example? We might not be able to help them. So we want to tell them that we are in this segment where we know the supply chain, we know the ecosystem very well. So it's easier for us to scale your business because we are familiar with the supply chain and also the entire so-called ecosystem. I would say it's maybe like you say it's a borderline, but to me it's it's an okay submission. If you want to submit, it's fine. You should give it a try. Anyway, it's just a click of button, right? No harm try. You won't know.
I will send to the group.
Yeah, maybe Solar will say, maybe this is not in the category, but I want to talk to you separately. Who knows, right? Yeah. Never miss any opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Running late, time's passing by too fast. Thank you, Captain Gan. In fact, I told Captain Gan 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
Cynthia, do we need to take a group photo?
Yes, let's take a group photo. Let's turn on your cameras if it's convenient. I will stop my recording now.